Now, I don't know too much about Sam Seder. The only thing I know about him is that he is Steven Crowder's kryptonite.
Oh, there he is. Oh no, Sam Seder. What a fucking nightmare.
You run away twice. Cold feet again.
Come on, Steven.
Wow. Wow, dude.
When Steven Crowder sees Sam Seder coming, he runs the opposite direction. That's all I know about Sam Seder. I've never really heard him speak before.
Wait, so your argument is that
has been the dominant culture, and we're not letting people assimilate to that. We're saying you should keep your culture, and this is why our culture is so divided.
Your argument is that Trump is good for those who want a dominant white European culture.
If you want a European culture, go back to Europe. America has its own culture. I mean, there was a reason why all these settlers got the F away from Europe. Like, they didn't want to be a part of Europe anymore. We have our own culture here in America, and a lot of that culture was influenced by Black Americans, okay? We are very instrumental in that culture. So to say that this is a Eurocentric culture is it's asinine. It's not real. I mean, take your average white person from America and compare them to somebody from Europe. Completely different people with completely different ways of living. You know, there are some similarities because we're all human living in a modern society, but there are some cultural differences there because America has its own culture and it's not Eurocentric.
I mean, that is what America is. It's rooted in European identity and Christian values. That's what it has been. Would you really disagree with that? What is it then if that's not the identity of America?
Well, I think the identity of
For the majority of time, America's been a country. You don't think that's been the identity?
It's not a Eurocentric identity. It's an American identity. See, she doesn't even know what she's talking about.
Well, actually, no. I think actually the identity of America has been, for better or for worse, a melting pot in that regard.
Yeah. Maybe since like the 1960s. Even then, even we had this idea of a melting pot literally means assimilation too. It means melting. It means you're assimilating to the dominant culture. Is that not what melting means?
No,
and now instead we're saying there's something wrong with xenophobia.
Culture. No. I mean, look, I got to be honest with you. You and I have a fundamental disagreement. We will never see eye to eye on this. It's a choice. And I think what you're expressing, though, is really what the Trump movement at its heart is about.
I disagree. I don't think that that's what it's necessarily about. I think that a lot of folks just don't want to live in Delululand anymore. You know, the big selling point for Trump was women being able to enjoy women's sports in bathrooms and private spaces without misogynistic men in skirts telling us that they deserve to be in our spaces. I think people resonated with common sense. It has nothing to do with being xenophobic. He hasn't rescinded anything about HB1 visas or whatever they call them. However, when you have a culture, when people come over to your country, they should, in a sense, assimilate to that culture. Do you call freaking people over there in Egypt xenophobic because they want women to cover up when they're over there? Are they being xenophobic? No, that's their culture. When you go over to their land, you respect their culture. Why shouldn't it be the same for here in America? We have a culture. And I hate that everyone wants to pretend like we don't. We have a culture here. And it is not xenophobic to want people to respect your culture when they're in your home. This idea that it's only bad when Americans have nationalistic or patriotic views. It's only bad when we do it, but when everyone else does it, it's celebrated. It's actually kind of silly to me.
And I think that's
I disagree. I don't think Trump's anywhere close to being a Christian nationalist. That's ridiculous. Trump's basically a Democrat from 15 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. A lot of the Republican Party are people like Trump who were Democrats, but the left just went out of control. And so now moderates are considered the new right wing.
So you don't think that he's conservative enough for you?
Oh, definitely. Nowhere close. No.
He's not xenophobic enough for you?
No, he's trying to port a bunch of H-1Bs. Are you kidding?
Right. Oh, so you want to get them out too? Yeah. No, I mean, I think you're making my argument for me.
We as Americans, we need to start taking care of ourselves and uplifting the people that are already here, that are American citizens. We shouldn't have to outsource to get talent. We have a lot of talented people here. We just have to nurture their talents. Because you can't trust people that have affiliations to foreign nations. I do appreciate when people come here legally, however, okay, you will always have points in my book if you come here legally and don't scapegoat the system. Our government should be here to serve us, not everybody else. And we shouldn't be made to feel like our culture doesn't exist. For sure, there's an American culture that's here. And as much as people want to on it, it exists. And it's the reason why everyone from everywhere else is trying to move and come here.
Period.